held up by urgent homestead projects
and an injured, hobbling wife.
Somehow, we still made progress on our cottage renovation this week.
Well, pretty sure it's just me.
Fair.
Ow, electric shock static.
Now that we got a replacement GoPro, we can actually film some content. And what better first content for the replacement GoPro than harvesting potatoes?
Are you sure you're trusted with it?
I'm not sure I can be trusted with anything.
The last time you were harvesting potatoes up here, you lost it.
I think the GoPro is in the garden somewhere. The fact that we can't find it says a lot about how well maintained the garden is. Right, let's do this.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, it's a beast. Little garden update. So we have harvested all of the broad beans. We have 5 kilos of broad beans blanched and in the freezer. Absolutely love it. We have harvested all bar a couple of the elephant garlic. So you see the 2 stalks there. Just going to do a little experiment and leave those elephant garlic in the ground, see what happens with them over winter and what happens next spring. We've got some self-seeded wild rocket here. Wild rocket's loving it. I had some curly leaf parsley transplants. Given the success of us being able to harvest it for well over a year now, all of this bloom here is all the curly leaf parsley, all gone to seed. Actually, that's a very good point. Unless I want self-seeded curly leaf parsley everywhere next year, I'm probably going to have to deal with this if it's not too late. Yeah, so we've got these parsley transplants I've grown from seed earlier on this year, and they were all coming pot bound, and I didn't know what to do with them because I was too busy with the actual house reno. But I thought, well, fine, let's just shove them in the ground. Finally managed to scrounge half an hour spare time to get them in the ground. The perennial bed has gone absolutely wild. Self-seeded dill, all of the parsley from last year has gone to seed. Self-seeded marigolds, self-seeded nasturtium. So I guess the perennial bed is true to form and it's being perennial. Self-seeding everything. The sage has flowered this year and it's actually grown up pretty wild over there. The thyme's looking beautiful from last year. It's all gone to flower. I don't know whether the asparagus is in here somewhere. This was meant to be the asparagus bed, and it's kind of suffering. So in the main root veg bed, we got a bunch of self-seeded borage. The bees are loving it. The spuds are all coming to the end of their life here. We've just been up here harvesting. We've taken back a few kilos for this evening's dinner. We got the first carrots of the year that were sown here. They are starting to get there. I mean, they should be there already. It's August. We've got the cabbage, which is re-sprouted from the roots that I left in the ground from last year. Random, wasn't expecting that. We've got some main crop potatoes kind of on their last legs. They're going to need to be harvested fairly soon. We got some leeks that were just left in the ground from last year that have all gone to seed, looking beautiful. Since the garlic has all been harvested, we've got down the centre that were interplanted a bunch of beetroot. On the end there we've got the remainder of what should have been 2 meters of parsnips. No, 4 meters of parsnips, and it's just ended up being probably half of that. Either didn't germinate or we had the birds get in the anti-bird netting and cause a little bit of destruction, but that's okay. You know, we'll have a Christmas dinner out of that. That'll give us a Christmas roast. I had the remainder of the seed packet of the what variety? A main crop variety of carrot. So fine for leaving in the ground, winter harvest basically. So I've planted the entire bed, 2 rows, one either side of the beetroot here. So we should have, and we got some pretty good germination rates already. and it's only been in there 2 weeks. So we should have a ample supply of carrots this winter. So that's exciting. The only other garden update I need to give is, oh well, we didn't see the rhubarb. I'm going to harvest some rhubarb for the first time. So those rhubarb crowns were planted in late summer last year. I did a late planting of the remainder of our main crop potatoes. The plan being that these should be ready to harvest come Christmas, hopefully in better shape as a seed potato for planting early spring next year. Not much else going on in the garden because I am full steam ahead on the cottage and I don't have any time for gardening as much as I'd love to, hence the absolute wild mayhem. So little update for the hens. Unfortunately, all the ladies are becoming a little bit feather bare because our fella, Massey the rooster, he's getting a little bit too feisty with the girls. So we snipped his spurs for the first time, gave him a little nail clip, and that kind of helped a little bit, stopped the flesh wounds from happening on the poor girls' backs. They're all becoming a little bit feather bare on their backs. The plan is, if we were properly set up and we had a kitchen, we would probably just have coq au vin, make a meal out of him. Unfortunately, we don't have a kitchen. We don't even have a home to live in. So while that's in progress, we have no opportunity to really process any meat birds. So Matthew will have to live to fight another day. And in the meantime, the plan is to actually, the girls are loving it right now because it's flying ant day right now, and the girls are running around having a protein feast of all the ants meeting their demise in their run. Hey Diana, how you doing, sweetie? So you can see, so Diana is queen of the flock, and even she has been suffering. You can see on the backs of their wings. The plan is we're actually going to section him off in his own little coop. Oh wow, there are lots of ants out here right now. Yeah, flying ant day. So we're going to section him off in his own little coop in the same run. This is his temporary dwelling. I need to erect it, so I got a cheap and cheerful, cheap and nasty actually. It's the quality's pretty poor, but what do you expect for $100? Kit coop. So I'm going to knock that up, and then I'm just going to drive a couple of posts in the ground with some chicken wire. I'm actually going to fence him off in his own little section so he can see the girls can see him, they can chat, they can interact, but he can't actually get to them. We'll probably keep them like that for a good few months while the girls heal up and their feathers return. We'll go from there, we'll see what happens. Here we have the second coop for the culprit. A little update on the cottage. We have the insulation 4 inches of XPS extruded polystyrene insulation laid. You can see there's a little step detail here. So this is an interesting insight into what will be the location of the final staircase eventually, not phase 1, because phase 1 the staircase is getting put back in situ where it was originally. But phase 2, when the staircase gets reconfigured and the upstairs gets completely renovated and roofs and ceilings and all the rest of that next level stuff, the staircase is actually going to be going up against this wall here over the underfloor heating manifold that's going to be situated here. Oh, I've got a plaster on my finger because I drilled my finger. These things happen. given the staircase is going to be here, because we're on the limit of being able to have a sensible staircase in this short distance here from the edge of this wall to the edge of the window here. We're on the limit in terms of getting the right height per step to make it a sensible staircase. There was always the issue with a step into our bedroom from the lounge area, which, as you guys know, we painstakingly, tried to resolve in floor level equalization and excavation, all the rest of it. But where we've come out is we've reduced the discrepancy between the lounge that I'm currently in and our bedroom to an 8-inch height difference, which is a perfect single step. So that single step was going to be there on that door threshold regardless. And given the staircase is going up against this wall here, to kind of not kill two birds with one stone, but ease the elevation gain from the staircase, but also actually continue this step into our bedroom out into this space here in the lounge. So this is going to actually form a landing for the first step of the staircase. That'll be where the staircase starts, on the edge of that landing there, going up the wall there. So yeah, this is an 8-inch, 2 layers of insulation on top of the existing insulation, forming our step up into our bedroom. And here we are. Insulation laid on top of a radon barrier, all detailed and lapped up the wall and sealed with a double butyl tape layer, and with an additional bit of bitumen based mastic squeezed in there for good measure. So we're nearly ready for the screed, with the minor detail of having to put all of the underfloor heating pipes in. So that's the next job. So I need to get the final layer of plastic rolled out on top of the insulation, and then I'll be able to lay out the underfloor heating loops. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to, in the appendage areas that are eventually going to be removed, this is why the insulation is not continued into here and into there, and then the same in the large appendage over there. Because these appendages are ultimately going to be removed, I'm not actually going to continue the underfloor heating pipe into this area here. So that's going to be actually end up being an outdoor patio space eventually. I've just ended the insulation here, kind of flush with the outside wall, where there will be a patio door or window in here. So the plan for today is, before I get the actual damp-proof membrane laid, is to actually, I'm going to start backfilling this. I've got a ton of spare sharp sand. I'm going to start backfilling this with some sharp sand, bring the level back up to kind of in line with where we are now, so that there's not such a abseil down into the, this is our main entryway at the moment. So yeah, it's a bit of a step into the cottage at the minute. It's becoming a little bit dangerous. And I've got a bunch of offcuts of the insulation from this floor that I'm going to lay on top of that sharp sand and put a damp-proof membrane on top of it. And then that'll be our kind of temporary floor. Let's crack on. This is the next main job. So there's a little upstand, 4-inch 100mm upstand, which is the height of the final screed. So the final floor screed is going to come level with the top there, or roughly, before the final damp-proof membrane gets lapped up the wall there to encapsulate all of the insulation, ready for the concrete to be poured, or the sand cement screed to be laid on top of this damp-proof membrane. So that's today's job. Perimeter insulation, all of these upstands in situ. You can see I've started a few here. They go in pretty quickly. There's not much flattery required, thankfully. I'm just foaming up some of the bigger gaps. A bit of belt and braces, anywhere I can fit a finger through, I'm just sticking a little bit of foam in, and it also acts as a little bit of adhesive. It's an interesting detail, actually. You'd think that it wouldn't be necessary, but actually the effectiveness of your underfloor heating, one of the early calculations you do for a room for the heat loss to determine how much heat requirement a room has for an underfloor heating setup, is actually the perimeter to area ratio. Smaller rooms that have a higher perimeter ratio compared to the actual square meterage of the area, they have a higher heat loss from your underfloor heating slab, or they have a higher heat requirement as a result. So yeah, this perimeter insulation is actually, seems like a minor, unnecessary, superfluous detail, but it is quite important when it comes to heating your home with underfloor heating.
So what's it time for?
Comment of the week.
So we have a couple of more amusing comments this week, but we wanted to feature this one because it was super sweet from Kate.
Guys, you have both worked so hard this year, so just go easy on your bodies. Hopefully the hardest part of the work is behind you. God, do I look forward to this every week. Honestly, I'm surprised RT, BBC, Channel 4, someone didn't contact you guys to televise your progress. It's just awesome and way better than anything on TV, so thank you all for sharing. Ireland are proud of you and delighted you chose to live here. Thanks again, guys. Love and hugs from the west of Ireland. P.S. Hope your foot improves soon. God bless. Thank you, Kate. It's lovely.
Was that so sweet, wasn't it? When Irish people say to us in the comments that, like, Ireland is cheering someone all happy for us or whatever, it really means a lot to us, doesn't it? Because it's important that we do right by Ireland, isn't it? Being a couple of transplants that we are.
Yep. So this is from Elizabeth Barbarous. No footage of the footage. Pun, 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 pun. I'm grateful it wasn't worse. Be well, all of you, and a speedy recovery. Floors looking sweet. Thank you.
And then this person followed up.
And the follow-up from Tiger Lily, Elizabeth the Punisher. Pun intended. Good work.
We just love the banter in the comments this week, don't we? A lot of people said that they were disappointed about the lack of footage of the footage. Speaking of which.
So from Will Proctorable says, there is nothing wrong with good old trusty safety flip-flops. You can't wear PPE all the time unless you're Kayvan doing the veggies. Glad you're okay though. And with all due respect, you, not your daughter.
Yes, he means like lucky it happened to me and not our daughter.
Fair enough, absolutely.
Yeah.
Take it as a hint to have a week off. We will need to see a recreation of the wheelbarrow rescue though.
Recreation.
I'm sure we can organise that.
He's not the only person who suggested that we recreate and do some like dramatic recreation.
Yeah.
Maybe when my foot is fully better. As you can see, I'm standing here without crutches. Look at me go. Maybe when my foot is fully better, we can reenact that for everybody's general amusement. I have a bad feeling that that will just descend into me falling out of the wheelbarrow, which luckily didn't actually happen in the real event. Anyway, thank you for all of your well wishes this week, guys. Really appreciated that. Thank you for your banter, as always, and every kind comment. It means a lot to us.
It does mean a lot to us.
Yeah.
All installed, ready to rock and roll. So time to roll out the last layer of damp-proof membrane in this room. Woohoo! How many layers have gone down now? One on top of the hardcore, one on top of the concrete, which was the radon. This is the third one, so 3 damp-proof membranes. If any moisture makes it to this top layer of the final floor finish, it deserves to be there. Let's get this damp-proof membrane rolled out.
So I probably should feel kind of grateful for the rest. And I guess at some level maybe I am. I'm definitely grateful for the amount that our daughter has been helping out. She has stepped up to the plate. Haven't filmed her helping out for 2 reasons. 1, incapable of filming really, and 2, she's not really feeling it with being filmed right now, which is totally fair enough. But yeah, she's been doing an amazing job. She's picked up my painting job outside, she's picked up all of my outdoor chores, so we normally have them divided between her and I with the animals, and she's just been doing all of them, as well as just loads of extra chores around the caravan. So bless her heart, I've been feeling super grateful for her help, and I've just been trying to make the best use of this sedentary time by getting organised for homeschool. So we're starting homeschool in September, and so I've been getting all of the curriculum planned and ordered and sorted, so hasn't been lost time. So it's been actually quite productive, just not in the ways I'd anticipated.
Lounge perimeter insulated. All of the 1 inch 25mm thick perimeter upstand, all in situ. So now time for the final DPM in the lounge.
Electric shock static.
So how was your week? Mine was pretty sedentary.
After getting all of the radon nailed and then after getting all of the insulation down, I was done with the floor preparation, but I still had to continue because I had another layer of damp-proof membrane to lay. That was a bit soul destroying. Yeah, I'm glad to get it done, and now begins the beginning of the end. Oh
no! It's not that bad, is it? The beginning of the end.
It's always that bad. No, it's the beginning of the end for the the to-do list for us to get into the cottage. So, and now that the DPM is down, we can move on next week with the underfloor heating pipes.
I feel like you've teased that a couple of weeks now, so they're going to be like, yeah, sure, we'll see.
Well, I'm always the optimist. I always think things are going to take less time than they do.
Yes.
So while it was a bit soul destroying to lay yet another layer of damp-proof membrane after the labour-intensive floor preparation up to that stage, it was, had to be done. And then we can move on to some more fun projects.
Also, as I was watching it in the edit, I was like thinking to myself, why do I get such poorly wrapped Christmas presents? Explain yourself.
Well, Christmas is transient. This floor is for our life, right?
So you're wrapping my forever present.
Well, there you go.
Aw, thank you. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted.
Such romantic. Oh yeah, kudos to the little one. So she's really stepped up and pulled her finger out, and she's been actually helping on the reno.
For clarity, when you say the little one, you don't mean me.
No.
Even though I am the smallest one in the family now.
Oh yeah, she's taller than me. She's actually taller than me.
Yeah, our daughter. Yeah, she's been really helpful this past week. She's come into her own, hasn't she?
Yep.
I'm not sure that she's enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed witnessing it, but she's taken on tons of my chores and then been helping you out as well.
Yep.
So that reminds me, we had a comment. Somebody said they noticed that we don't share our daughter's name for obvious reasons, and she said on another channel they got the viewers to vote for a name that, like a nickname, but like a...
Ulterior.
What's the word?
Alter ego.
Alter ego, yeah.
Stage,
An alias.
Stage name, yeah.
Stage name. So if you have any really good suggestions of what we could collectively call our daughter, let us know in the comments.
And on that topic, actually, there was another comment from someone who recognised and appreciated the fact that you made a comment last vlog that we didn't have much filming of the little one mucking in with the reno because she doesn't always want to be filmed. And somebody noticed that and they actually mentioned that thank you for respecting your daughter's privacy. So I thought that was legit. It's her choice. She can choose whether or not she wants to be on screen or not.
And sometimes she loves it and sometimes she's like, no, you know, she's a teenager. So we just respect that, give her that space. And sometimes it's cool that we do this as her parents and sometimes it's deeply embarrassing. So that's just part of being parents to a teenager, isn't it? So another thing that actually feels like a bit of a, I think, a weight off our minds and definitely off of your to-do list is sorting out the situation with the hens, right? And we'd, you know, done a ton of research and tried, like you said, clipping Matthew's spurs. Didn't really make much of a difference, did it? No, the girls had been suffering and the physical damage had been building up over the last few weeks and months now. And kind of getting a little bit... It's horrible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, hens and roosters, you know, that's their nature, right? We're down to, well, we had 8 hens and we're down to 7 now after losing the rock star that is Sneagle. Not to Matthew's vigorous love making, it should be pointed out. Her escape adventures met the ultimate price. But so the remaining 7 hens aren't enough to spread the amorous attention of the one randy rooster. So the girls have been kind of suffering, become feather loss. So I saw a second chicken coop on sale, and I thought, why not? Let's house him in a separate space away from the girls, and he's set up there now in his prison. Although it's backfired ever so slightly. Because when you went up there yesterday, one of the hens has managed to flap her way into the separate run, the run within a run, and he's now got his own Love Island. Yeah. It's annoying because she's the worst. She's the bottom of the pecking order. So I think we're gonna have to get her out. That's going to be a fun rescue. Because this particular bird has been convinced since we've had her that we're trying to murder her. So she is the least friendly, least easy to pick up or catch. Most skittish. Most skittish. She's always at the other end of the run as soon as you're in there. And then he gets upset if she's upset. So I feel like you should film that. Yeah. But for now, at least, most of the ladies are having an easier time. So that feels good to get that off the plate. Stay tuned because next week, maybe, start laying some underfloor heating pipe. Watch this space. Or at least getting closer. Thanks, guys. Thanks, folks. Like a sad little... Bye, folks. Bye. Don't kick that. I'm not going to kick it. I'm going to be careful around here. Sad little monkey couple. Oh, no. And so maybe when my foot is more fully formed, still growing. Somebody said that we don't share our daughter's name. Somebody said that. What did somebody say? So, I think it's one of the few privileges you get to enjoy as a parent. One of the few. Harsh. The privilege of being embarrassing and enjoying it. No, she wasn't rogered to death. Amorous load. It's really hard to talk about that. I mean, funny even though it's terrible for them. That's a terrible turn of phrase, the amorous load. Amorous load. Is there an equation for that? How do you calculate the amorous load? Penitentiary for vigorous lovemakers. Yeah, I mean, he's been served an ASBO. And, he's been voted out. See you next week. Nope. Thanks, folks. See you next week. One more time. Bye-bye. Toodles. So long. Please call. Please call.